Hello and welcome to my Dekaron tutorial. This is the Halo Nut and I will be showing you the basics of Dekaron. Okay, right now you are looking at the server group selection screen. Once you make your characters on one server group, you cannot transfer them over to the other. For example, you make an Alokin or a Knight on Sis, you cannot transfer them over to Helion. As it is, all my characters are on Sis, so I am choosing that. Okay, now this is your character selection screen. As you can see, I already have a character made, but I'm going to make a new character for this demonstration. So I'm going to click on New. And now you see the character creation screen. Okay. Here's a basic rundown of the different classes. Knights are the basic tank of the game. They have 3 separate weapon builds and are capable of wielding 6 different types of weapons. The builds are Dual, which are a fast, decent damage build with some ranged attacks, and Two-Hand, which is a very damaging build, whose attacks can debuff enemies, as well as this class having more buffs than the other builds. This, however, is counterbalanced with lower defense and slower attacks than the other builds. Finally, the shield build, which has lower attack but very good defense, and they can buff themselves and allies. Okay, Hunters. Sagetta Hunters are a very evasive archer class. They're capable of very strong ranged attacks, physical-based damage. They are also capable of avoiding damage very well and are very good at kiting, thanks to having the best speed buff in the game. They have the second lowest defense in the game, so avoiding damage is crucial. Magicians. Incarn Magicians are the masters of ice, fire, and lightning, as well as non-elemental magic. They can use them to accomplish very powerful elemental magic combos. They have lowest defense in the game, so using their ice attacks to stun an enemy and then following up with fire or lightning attacks is very vital for their survival. Some of their skills will cost health instead of mana. Summoners, well, summoners are just that. They are summoners. Wow, big surprise. They can use summoned powers to attack their enemies directly, or they can summon demons to support themselves with more damage and to share damage by distracting enemies. So basically, their attacks, and then they can summon a separate entity to accompany them. They can wield either very strong poison magic by use of a staff, or they can have twin blades, which consist of very fast but weaker sword attacks, and those further consist of ranged and melee attacks. The Siniel is the basic support class. They can heal and buff their teammates while debuffing enemies. They are the only class who can revive a dead player and also revive themselves. They are capable of weaker curse-based attacks, and they have minimal defense, so they are definitely a team player. Boggy Warriors. Boggies are the berserkers of the game. They have decent defense and are very resilient to elemental damage. They are capable of fairly fast attacks and have the ability to interrupt enemy attacks by knocking them back, as well as a buff which allows them to share damage with their teammates. Alokins are a priestess class, as I call them, and are capable of fairly strong, very fast attacks, and they have the unique ability to bless other players with buffs that have charges. These buffs have various effects. They can either add to the player's attack after being triggered, or they can make a clone of the previous single attack, or they can even absorb damage dealt to the player. So we're going to choose a character, and in this example I am going to choose a summoner, and I'm going to name it. So after naming your character, you're going to choose a server and click connect. You can choose Calibus by default, which most players do, so yeah, I'm choosing Calibus, and you click connect, and it loads, and it loads, and it loads, and it loads. Okay, so welcome to Arctica, the test, the training server. You just created your character, and we will get on with the game next time. See you later.